So good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
30% more. Good morning. All right. So this morning at the presenters meeting, Todd said that. He said, we went around and we all shared some things that we got from yesterday. And I thought we all collectively thought yesterday was amazing.
Absolutely.
And that the other thing, I had to admit was that I've been with Rick since day one for the last 15 years. And I truly take this stuff for granted, and I'm not going to do that anymore. That was my big aha, is that I'm not going to take this for granted. This is a special environment, a special culture, and all of this training is just, it's all of the tools and the platform to just catapult all of us into doing really special things with our families, our businesses, and in our communities. So I want to give 30% more, so I need your guys' help today. So my name's Linus Thalman. I'm out of the Michigan branch. Like I said, I've been around for Rick in this system for 15 years. I literally have been on a greatness tracker that long. And because I've been more directed than most, which is having the coaching, is why I've had a little bit of success and continued growth. So Heather, here, your market is?
My market, Sparks, Nevada.
Yep, Nevada, that's right.
Yep.
Sorry. And you've been in the Corps for how long?
I've been in the Corps for 3 years.
Okay, cool. So who right now loves the greatness tracker? Really? God bless you. I hate it. So it's so ironic. Just a couple minutes ago, Brenda, my branch manager, says, good luck on training on the greatness tracker. I said, it's what I hate the most out of the week. But you know what? As I just mentioned, it's about getting uncomfortable and doing the things that we really don't like to do. It's funny. Like, I talk to a lot of people that have previous sales experience. And for one, Derek Polder was up here yesterday and I was in his class. And he was talking about that, how we have to have 60 conversations a week in order to hit our metrics. And he was, what was he selling? He was selling something at Time Warner where all he did was field the calls or call people that had just canceled their subscription, whatever it is. And he had to call and they would go, leave me alone. I hate you. I hate your services. And you go, well, I'm glad to hear that, but I'm sorry to hear that, but can we talk you into, and had to do that like 100 times a day. So because he had that initial experience, the 60 talk tos was nothing. As a matter of fact, based off of yesterday's conversations, I feel like we really need to step that. You should go back. The first thing you should do to your greatness tracker is change that 60, cross it off, and put 80, 100, because Absolutely. I think that we're going to have to be talking to some more people. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to talk about, because I think that a lot of people, you get you're in your own way, and a lot of people are struggling to figure out how to get all of that activity in 40-hour work week. So that's what we're going to focus on. I actually want, not to get off topic, but I actually wanted to start with a little bit, I guess, about my secret sauce. I thought that it was pretty cool that Derek shared that yesterday, and I said, what is my secret sauce? And then I started thinking about my value-added proposition, and then where I've gotten to in the last 6 to 8 months, which has literally increased my leads about 35-40% in the last 6 months. So does everybody know the 622 form? Raise your hands, everybody. All right, so the 622 form is what? Is 6 new realtor talk-tos or connects, whatever you want to call it, within a 2-week period, 2 new office managers, 2 builders, and then our gifting program. So I think that, and I was telling her this morning when we were prepping for this, is that an area that is not focused on, which I focused on last year, and then now, as I told you, my leads have significantly increased along with my applications, is the 2 office managers. Okay, so real quick, again, because I just want to share some success, I think that's the best thing to do as a coach, and failures, even more importantly, is that I just became the in-house lender about 6 months ago to the biggest Keller Williams office in the Midwest. It happened to be in my market, 380 agents. My mega agent, my whale out of that office, did 100 million in volume last year. That office alone is I have metrics that I'm going to be closing 20 units a month, by every single month next year, just from that office alone, and everything else will add on top of that. So how did I get that office? First, I was there more than the current in-house lender was at the time. I was walking through that office and I had more relationships with the receptionist, because y'all know that you got to start with the gatekeeper, right? And we can translate this into the face-to-face when we go through the greatness tracker. But you have to get in good with the receptionist, right? The gatekeeper. How I initially got in good is I brought a Valentine's candy bar. And that's how I got in good with the gatekeeper in this office. And then I consistently was there all of the time. And not to go into too much detail how I got this, but I want to give you a value-added proposition or a mindset or a concept, whatever you want to call it, when you're talking to an office manager. First of all, does everybody in here see value in being an in-house relationship with the Keller Williams office of 380 agents where you already have a daily captive audience? Couple people? Should I stop or should I keep going? Okay. So, and by the way, I'm doing 4 leveraged events a month where I'm averaging right now 40 agents in every single week that I get in front of. So how hard is it for me to fill up my greatness tracker? I fill it up in 1 hour, okay, with my face-to-faces. So anyways, my value-added proposition is that my first sentence to that office manager is that there is a disconnect between real estate offices and in-house mortgage relationships. And here's what it is that you want a lot of money just to add to your bottom line because that's what you're always looking out for. You're a business owner. I get it. I'm a business owner. The lender agrees to pay a lot of money because they know that there's a big opportunity here to capture a lot of business. Where the disconnect is that you take the highest bidder, then that highest bidder is typically a larger bank that has deep pockets, and then they feel like they're entitled to getting all of the business in your office. My mindset, and the truth is that by me paying you a much smaller amount, by the way, because I'm going to focus, my vision is to have 100% of your agents cap. Will that happen? No, but if we start with that as a vision, that's going to help your bottom line, which is most important to you, correct? Yes. Awesome. So what I know and understand is that what I'm paying for in this small amount is an opportunity to earn the business from all of your agents. Everybody follow that? And they're like, oh yeah, we've went through 17 loan officers in the last year and a half because they pay $5,000 a month. And then what happens is they come to the office twice a week. And then after 3 months, they complain to the management and the leadership of that office and say, wow, I haven't gotten any business. And then they say, well, you're not here. What are you doing for the office? So again, what you want to do is my value-added proposition and my secret sauce with all of those leveraged relationships so I can get in front of 40 people a week in 1 hour and give value to their business. My value-added proposition or my secret sauce is that I help agents make more money. So I want you to write that down. My 2 things that I tell every single agent, and I talked about this in my theme days yesterday, it's basic stuff. It's right from Rick Ruby's mouth, is number 1, I will close all of your loans on time with a smooth process. And number 2, I will help your agents or you as an agent, if you're in a one-on-one, make more money. And I do that through the core model. Who in here is not in Summit Funding coaching or core coaching of any sort? Who is not? Okay. So if you're not in coaching, you really don't have those tools to share. So I would suggest that you do get into coaching. It will increase. It'll only increase your income by, I don't know, quadruple. But just don't implement fast. So I just wanted to share that as a success story as far as looking at that and focusing on some big relationships. I have a confession to make. My biggest struggle every single week is filling up the greatness tracker on the talk tos. I don't like the phone. I hate the phone. I don't do cold calls. I haven't done cold calls in a while. I used to, when I had to do cold calls and my coach would make me, I would hire a dialer to do it. And then I would say, all right, I want to meet with 100 realtors this summer. Ready, set, go. And I would give them a quick script, and that's what we would do. I don't cold call. So I struggle with that. So what I do is I think what the smartest thing to do, and this is just me, is that I go after whales. And I think a 380 agent office is a whale. I go after teams that do 20 million plus. And again, I'm giving value added that I'm going to take care of all of their business, close in less than 20 days, and I'm going to help them make more money, whether we're going to focus on hiring more buyer's agents, hiring a better staff with better systems and structure to deliver wow service. And then how I got my $100 million realtor 2 years ago is that everybody asked him, you were interviewing like 7 of the local top loan reps in the area. Why did you pick Linus? Must have really good service, right? What? No. All those 7 had really good service. He taught me a profit and loss. That's how I got my $100 million realtor. So I struggle getting all of the onesie twosies. I just think it makes more sense to go after whales. So anyways, 622, the other thing is that be proactive with your prospecting. That was my big aha a couple semesters ago when I had Shayla Gifford as a coach, and she said, I used to I would be like, oh, I don't have my 622 filled up. I need to start calling some people. My coaching homework is due tomorrow and it's Tuesday. So I need to make 5 more calls right now just to say that I could write something down. Where my mind shifted with her, my mindset is that take your 622 first on Friday afternoon and fill out who you're going to prospect over the next week so you can fill out the talk tos, which then the purpose of a phone call is what? Is to set an appointment, which then will fill the face-to-faces. So that was a quick tip. Again, I just wanted to give my story and some success that I've had in the last couple months. That's really catapulted my not only greatness tracker, but then my results, my leads, and the face-to-faces and applications. So take it from there.
I'm going to dig deep into the greatness tracker. I want to know who here, I already heard who likes their greatness tracker. Who actually fills every box on their greatness tracker? We got one. Okay, so what we want to do is how do we fill that greatness tracker? How do we have fun doing it? And how do we make money doing it? So what I want to do before I dig into how we fill those boxes, if you go to what page is that?
179.
179. There are
this right here?
Yep. There are 3 lines for each section of the greatness tracker. I want you to do a little table work and discuss what are your 3 tactics to fill each one of those lines. What are your 3 tactics as far as to get the face-to-faces, the break breads, the 60 conversations, and so forth? So I want to give you just like 2 minutes to talk amongst yourselves. What's your little secrets? And then we're going to dig deeper into that.
Put a couple things down and then share it with your table.
Absolutely. All right, guys, let's go ahead and pull it back in because everybody's having some great ideas out there. And so I want to hear some of these ideas. That way I don't duplicate what you've already talked about. So what I want to do is I want to get a couple ideas. Let's start with the face-to-face meetings. Who's got some great ideas out there? Give me a show of hands. Or let's start with this table.
So what's your plan for that? So everything in the core we teach, 1, having a plan, and then 2, creating goals, and 3, creating a list to go after that goal. So I love that idea. Where us as salespeople fall a lot of times is that we don't do it consistently. All right. So it's, for example, I ran into one of my students yesterday and I said, how are you doing this? Are you off to a good start this year? And he says, yeah, not bad. And I said, well, what does that look like? And so that I could measure it. And I said, well, what is your goal this year? What's your number 1 goals? He says, I want more realtor relationships. And I said, well, how many? And he said, 20. And I said, well, how many do you have to call in order to get 20? And he says, and I says, and how many will you have to meet with to get 20? And then what's that, and so my point is that if you're whatever you want to do as far as your ultimate goal, like for us, all December, I actually start now in November, is my goal planning for the following year. I learned that. I used to do it on December 30th, like 98% of America does. And all of a sudden you wake up 2 days later and you've got to make this drastic change that you haven't prepared for. It never made any sense. And then all of a sudden end of January hits and you're like, well, maybe next year, right? So what I do now is that I get with my team and we do a November goal setting. Not to get sidetracked here, but I feel like this is important because if we're going to have these goals and have intentions to fill up our greatness tracker, we need to know how we're going to do that. So you've got to set, and it's not too late, I'm not saying that, but if you're going to say that I want to meet with this many realtors, how many realtors are you going to call a week? Because you're going to, if you want to set 10 appointments, you're going to meet 5 of them. If you want 5 good realtors, just so you know, if you want 5 good realtors that will refer you 4 more deals, you need to probably call about 100. Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Realtors don't do much business. There's very few that do much business. Or you've got to have a really, really, really strong value-added proposition to get the whales.
Absolutely. I want to get 2 more ideas for the face-to-faces, and then I'm going to dig deeper into the face-to-faces and give you a couple of tools and tactics to really blow that up. So give me 2 more. This table over here, what are you doing to get your face-to-faces?
Awesome. Survival kit. Anybody in this room close 120 or more transactions last year? Okay, awesome. Well, it's optional for you, but then the rest of you have to go to at least 5 open houses a weekend. That's the new summit funding law.
Absolutely. Question for you: when you walk in the house and you see the real estate agent, what do you tell them? What's your go-to? What do you tell them at that moment? I'm good. How are you? Mm-hmm. Cool. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
I appreciate that. What else are you going to tell them? Let me give you a hint. How about, hey, this is a beautiful house. I've got 3 pre-approved buyers that are looking for this house. Can I give you a call next week? And that way I can bring those people to you, and let's get this house sold. There you go. Set up that break bread. That's great. Those, being out there and being seen, super, super important. They've done tests. I'm reading a book right now, and it's all about being seen. And they did a test, some kind of study in a classroom. They had women showing up randomly throughout the class, and at the end of the semester, they asked all the students, or all the men, they gave them 3 pictures. Which woman would you most likely date? And they all pretty much look the same height, blonde hair, blue eyes, not a lot of differences. But the one that they all picked is the one that attended the class the most. They never knew her name. One of them never showed up. One of them came to 5 classes. One of them came to 10 classes. So they picked the one they saw the most. So if you're in front of people and they need a lender, they're going to pick the one they see the most. Okay? Remember that. So when you're thinking, I don't want to walk in there, I'm not invited, show up, be seen. Be seen. Super important. I'd like to get one more idea as far as the face-to-faces. I've got it in my room, so I will let you know after lunch. How's that? One more idea on face-to-face. Great idea. So one of the things that I do with my face-to-faces is I pick the offices where my A agents are. My A agents. So I know I can get in the door. I make sure I have a relationship with the gatekeeper, which isn't always the office manager, the Wales office manager, the receptionist. Know that receptionist. Know that you're going to stop in and you're going to drop off her favorite donut or whatever, and you know what it is because you actually have a conversation with her when you're stopping in. You notice that her favorite color is pink. She has everything pink. So when you're at the dollar store, you see this cute little fuzzy pink pen and you drop it off to her. And that way you've created the relationship with the gatekeeper. So when you want to bring in a dozen donuts, you can walk in and go to the kitchen. Because on your way to the kitchen, you're going to walk past certain offices, and you're just going to say, hey, how's it going? Anything I can do for you today? And it'll open that door so that when you call, they know who you are, and you can get in front of them. You've provided food for them, and you're seeing them. You're face-to-face. So you want to make sure, get in that office. And if you've only got 3 or 4 or 5 A agents, that's 5 offices that you can go in on a regular basis. The other part of those face-to-faces is you have to time block it. Don't think, okay, I have to stop by Remax this week. No, put it in your calendar, time block your hour, 2 hours, or whatever you need to make it happen, and you follow that calendar. That way you don't skip it, because we all have fires and things that distract us, and a loan that goes south, and that borrower that just called and has needs you right now that has a 300 FICO score. Well, you don't have time for that because you've time blocked that you're going to go out and I know that Alicia and a lot of people call it the milk route. I call it a muffin run. I call it the muffin run because of Costco muffins. A lot of places, they don't have Costco. So I take those muffins that cost, what is it, $8 for 2 dozen? And I individually wrap them with my business card on them so I can tootle on in. Whether I have to drop it off at the receptionist because I haven't got the permission to go past her yet, or get to the kitchen, whoever I see on the way, they're going to stop in, grab a muffin, but there's my business card again. So you want to brand whatever you're dropping off. So that way, your little 5-minute visit lasted the whole day or maybe the week because they go in there and get their muffins. So whether you call it a milk route, a muffin run, whatever it is, make sure you're getting out and doing it and getting those face-to-faces.
Food and snacks for realtors win every time.
Food for them and their team. Not just a Starbucks for them. They would rather have you feed their team than them because when they're happy, life is good. Not only that, when a deal goes south and they hear their agent complaining, their team's going to say, oh, you know what? Heather stops by every Wednesday, brings me muffins.
Lady.
Yeah, the Starbucks chick. Who is?
I was
where's
the
her
treat
car?
guy at this office that I'm the in-house lender. I swear. I said,
Absolutely.
Here comes the treat guy.
Yeah. If they know you are always there Wednesday afternoon for that treat, whether it's a bag of oranges or donuts, they know. There is a guy, Mike Ittner, title rep. I don't even know what he does at Western, but I know every Tuesday he'd stop by with just his business card, not even food. Hey, what are you doing? And I'll always put that business card in there. And I'm like, another business card from a title rep. Right in the trash. I never really did anything with it. But you know what? Right now, if I need a title question, that's who I'm going to call because I know he's going to pick up the phone and I can remember his name because I've had 8 million business cards of his on my desk.
That's all. It's that simple.
Yeah, it's that simple.
Overthink it.
You don't have to spend a ton of money because I know some people out there, you're working on making that money. And so going out and buying 5 dozen donuts to deliver them could get really expensive. Don't overthink it. Doesn't have to be huge. And it can be as simple as a business card if you need that prop. Some of us can go in and just be you and say, hey. So be seen. Those face-to-faces, super, super, super important. And as Linus said, I know I've got one of my students in here. We've changed our greatness tracker and we upped everything 20%. So my team, it's not 15 face-to-faces, it's 20 face-to-faces. And if they don't get their 20 face-to-faces, they're doing burpees. So dishes, yeah. But
accountability.
The punishment is because my job is to blow up her paycheck. I want that pay log rocking. And the only way we're going to do that is kill the greatness tracker along with the 622. They go hand in hand. All right, so face-to-face. Everybody got good ideas how they can get out there? You don't have to get the phone call and think you have to have the appointment to walk in there and see them. Be seen. Period. End of story. Be seen. You will be surprised that there's no other lenders doing that. So be the one. Be in their face.
It can be either or. So if you could either just swing by and have a quick conversation on your way out of that real estate office with a new agent. As long as you're pitching your services, it goes on as a face-to-face, or it can be a scheduled appointment. Absolutely, which we're going to discuss that as well
for the two-step close. Absolutely. Okay. The break breads. I'm going to guess that most of you, the standard answer for making the break bread happen is it should be calling my 40 people on Monday and setting an appointment to go have lunch with them, right? That is the obvious. And I bring up the fact that I know you guys are working on your paycheck. A lot of you guys are rocking some good money right now. Some of you guys are working on it. It gets expensive taking a bunch of agents to lunch. So think outside the box because every lender can do that. Every lender can call them up, which, again, they don't. And say, hey, let's go to lunch. Let's go to Olive Garden. Let's go to the steakhouse. Look how impressive I am. I'm going to take you to the steakhouse. If I set up an appointment, if I call them on Monday, and it could be somebody from the 622, say, I'm going to stop by your office. How about if I bring us lunch? Because right now, the cool thing to do is homemade. So have your wife or yourself whip up some great salad, sandwich, whatever. Stop by, sit at their desk, 30 minutes, you just broke bread, you had a great appointment, and you've got a break bread on there that didn't take you an hour and a half and cost you $75. So figure, and it doesn't have to even be a salad. It could be donuts. It's a meaning, when you are breaking bread with someone, it's more meaningful and deep than a face-to-face. Your face-to-face is you hung out for a moment, and that's your opportunity to get to the break bread. You see what I'm saying?
Can I add something to that?
Absolutely.
So, we focus on realtors, and for the obvious reason, right? Because real estate, our realtors can control the buyers coming over to us, and that's what you should do. But I want to share something with you that I think that we haven't been focusing on lately is your VIPs and your sphere of influence. Okay, so I, in the theme day class yesterday, for those of you that were in that, I talked about how I closed 30% of my volume was literally from sphere of influence or top 50 VIP. And I spend a ton of time, my breaking bread is probably my strength of the greatness tracker. So I love, and just so you know, breaking bread doesn't have to mean, like she said, going out to lunch. It doesn't even have to mean bringing lunch to a real estate office. When I take 4 or 3 of my business partners out golfing at my club, they go on my break bread. We just sat in a golf cart for 4 hours, and we had a couple beers, and we had a hot dog, and we just caught up on life and had a really good relaxing time and built our relationship outside of work. And there may, out of 4 hours, may have been 2.5 minutes of some kind of a question about work, right? So I would suggest, and then I just started a networking of professionals, some high-level professionals in our area, and we go out to a fun dinner, and we all pay for just our own, because we're all professionals and we don't want it to be too expensive, so we pay for our own, and we just go to a modest restaurant, a brewery, and we do it once a month. Those are break breads. I host a monthly poker game for my VIPs. I have a man cave. I turn my garage into a whole man cave. TVs, dartboard, shuffleboard, poker tables. And as I mentioned yesterday in my class, I order 4 or 5 pizzas. It costs about $100, and then I rake from the pot until I get my $100 back. So it costs me $0. All right. So it cost me $0 and is by far my best event. So you guys see the events on here. That's where again, I make up for my lack of my phone abilities is by my relationship skills. And because I was taught early in my career that, and write this down, deep relationships equal big money. Deep relationships equal big money.
I'm going to piggyback on that when he's done talking about the deep relationships.
Yeah, and just, again, the VIPs, again, some things, because I did a class to my realtors who were just shocked, like they should actually go after their sphere of influence for business. I did a class on VIPs, and they couldn't believe it. They're like, wait a minute, don't we just go online and put Facebook post and money comes flying in? I said, no. That's a low return. So is all the Zillow, all of that. So top 50 VIPs will net you a big return. They already know you, like you, and trust you. So it isn't even a referral. You already have that connection and that bond. And my studies from last year show that my average loan amount, I think, was 35% higher than the rest of my closed volume from my sphere of influence, top 50 VIPs. And it's just a much higher return. I didn't have to spend any money doing that, and it was fun. See, I just love it, just having fun. So, and don't overthink that. Have events. Who has a monthly happy hour? Okay, of course, the only one in the room besides us that's closed over 120 transactions has a happy hour. Events are super huge to have that bonding moment. A couple things on while we're on that subject. Here's some tips on happy hours, because my students a lot of times will come back and say, I just don't have it in the budget right now. If you don't have it in the budget, then what you should do is do a BYOB at your house and get some Costco hamburgers and spend $30-$40. And at your house is the best place that you could host a happy hour. If you can afford it to do it monthly, I think you cannot afford it, because you'll spend $1,000 in a year and you'll get a lot. And I did $9 million in closed volume from my sphere of influence, okay, last year. So do the math. No, I do the VIP poker game at my house, but I also do my and I have realtors come to that too. The ones that I'm really close with. and actually like. So it's very few, but yeah. And then I'm on, like if my wife and I love social activity. That's just so that's natural for me and her. We love to host. We literally built our house with the concept of what can we do to build this house to host. And so birthday party, you come to any one of my birthday parties and it's pretty cool because I'll be standing there grilling at my kid's 5-year-old birthday party and I'm looking around. I'm like, man, this is pretty sweet. I've done 90% of these, there's 60 people here and I've done 90% of the mortgages here.
Okay, with what he just said, what you want to remember here, I know we're all thinking real estate agents, and builders. But you want to think of any person that goes on your greatness tracker, what list am I putting them on? Are they on my 40, on your theme day, everybody on your greatness tracker should be on one of the lists for your theme day. Are they a VIP, friends, family? Are they a whale? Are they a past client? Are they a current client? What are they? Make sure your greatness tracker is balanced because you'll find yourself as you start putting these names on here that you'll sway one way or the other. And I keep track of the people that I put on my greatness tracker. Alicia Blackwood taught me this, that if they're a client, I put current client, or if it is a work event, work, or if it's to do with the core, or are they a VIP? What are they? So at the end of the week, I can see, did I have a full round week or did I talk to all my VIPs or past clients? But everybody should be going on here. Your theme days, if you follow your theme days, you time block for your theme days first thing in the morning, because if not, they go away. Just like working out. If you don't go to the gym first thing in the morning, guess what happens? You got too busy and then you're too tired and you're stressed out and you go home. So you take your theme day first thing in the morning, time block for it, and crank those names right on your greatness tracker. And then in the afternoon, you get out and you handle your face-to-faces and your break breads. Does that make sense? So the VIPs, the events, we're salespeople. Every place you go, are you guys selling? Every place. You're at your kid's birthday party. You just said right there, you've done all their loans. You're selling every place you go.
Yeah, so
every place you go.
But let me tell you something with that. I don't, at my birthday party, I don't have a Summit Funding banner with somebody, my LP one there taking loan apps. I don't talk about mortgages at it. It's just, it comes naturally because I'm around them so much. I mean, in full disclosure, I think how I started doing all of these fun activities is that somebody in that group that invited me, I've done a mortgage for. So I just tell my wife, who may have been my girlfriend or fiance at the time, well, I got to do it. It's for work, So it just kind of started like that. And then it just snowballed. And again, like another example is that I had, coming from the Motor City, we have lots of suppliers of the, Chrysler and Ford and whatnot. So there's lots of engineers. And I go to an annual golf outing and it's grown amongst friends. And same thing, it's up to 24 guys, and I don't miss it every single year. It's been going on. The last summer was our 11th year, I think, and same thing, standing on the tee box and everybody's hobnobbing and whatnot. And I'm like, I've done 75% of their mortgages when they bought. They've refinanced. They've referred their, cousin and their coworkers, and and I look at that, and all I'm doing is drinking and golfing with these guys, and not one talk of mortgages come up. And again, you have to respect the grind of calling all the realtors, but I mean, think about that real quick. And again, I'm not up here telling you not to chase realtors because I chase realtors, okay? I chase them every single day, but I chase them hard, spend more money on that, and then afterward, go have fun with these guys with a bigger rate of return. So I just let me give you something that Rick Ruby gave me a long time ago. Who has some sort of a fire pit in their backyard? Okay. So half of us do. So I didn't at the time, and I got a homework assignment probably 12 years ago to go buy one of those $100 just little fire pits that you can just plop down, and a couple folding chairs. I was, who knows, I was in a little house at the time, not much of a backyard, and I started having 3 realtors come over for a cigar. If you don't smoke cigars, whatever, you can just sit out, and there's nothing. Rick Ruby, at all of his core events, the number one thing is they have to have a big, huge fire pit and more than one, because that's where he says he builds the most relationships at the core events, the summits, is that after the classes, we call them fireside chats, and he's a cigar smoker, so naturally that's what he's done. So if you don't have a fire pit, go get one of those. And like I said, it's don't overthink it and don't spend a lot of money. Everybody else is respectful of that. So again, those can all add to, again, I just wanted to really focus on where my strengths are in the Greatness Tracker, which is the break bread and even touching on some of the events. Going back to the happy hours, is that rule of thumb is when I have a happy hour, I bring a thing of raffle tickets, and I give my LP1 the raffle tickets, and she hands out 2 to every guest as welcome. Thanks for coming. Your first 2 drinks are on us. After that, you can obviously continue to drink, but you'll have to start your own tab, and then we're going to lay some appetizers out. And thank you for your continued support of our business. And then I let it known to the waitress if they don't have a raffle ticket, they're on their own and they start their own tab. And everybody's very respectful of that. I've had a lot of people be like, oh, that's kind of rude. No. Everybody's very respectful of that. And you get out of there in usually less than 200. The ideal happy hour is 12 or less people. I think a lot of you get confused. Like, I'm scared to have a happy hour. Either 1, I don't have the money and I don't want to spend a lot of money, or 2, nobody will show up. I've had happy hours where the worst turnout for happy hours I invited 55 people and I had 1 show up. True story. Michigan, snowstorm. Keller Williams had some big event that day. Everybody was burned out. Poor scheduling and planning on my part. Had 1, and I deepened that relationship with that person. It was worth everything, and I got out with like a $30 bill. That was even a bonus too. So again, the happy hours are a very, very big part of filling up my Greatness Tracker as well.
That's when you have a happy hour out and about, the cool thing is you don't particularly have to have RSVPs because the food's right there. So you don't end up buying food for 50 people and 1 person shows up. 1 person shows up, you order a pizza, life's good, drinks are made right there. So it's easy to count on, what money you need to spend on a happy hour. And if you have more people, that's great too. So with the events, I want to, Linus just said that he does the stuff he loves with his whales and VIPs. So think about what it is you love. It doesn't have to be golf particularly. I'm in this organization. I hear these sports scenarios all the time. The greatest coach for football and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know who that is. But let's go to the mall and we can talk at Macy's. So figure out what your love is. What's your thing that you love to do? Most of us love our job, so we take that and morph it into what else you do. What do you do with your kids? What do you do in your personal life, and piggyback on that?
Why don't we do that right now with some table work? Why don't you guys write down one thing that you will implement as far as a fun event that's catered to your liking, whether you do it quarterly, monthly, whatever it may be. Why don't you guys all write that down and then spend a couple minutes sharing with each other and come up with some ideas? Because I think what's going to happen is then after that, we'll have you guys share some, and we'll be able to give you all some ideas to have some events to really crush that break bread.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, spend a couple minutes and come up with some ideas of what you would like to do. And it could be the same as mine. It could be a poker night. It could be a cigar, fireside chat, whatever it may be. But go ahead and spend a couple minutes to do that.
Oh, I'm not supposed to.
No, I think it's just a sound maker.
Oh, yeah, you pull that out. Cool. All right.
All right, bring it back. If we could, you guys start. What was your favorite idea, or one of them?
Well, we're golfers. He shoots pool. We're talking about events that maybe cater to both men and women. Talking about book club, Bible study, wine tastings, those kinds of things.
Excellent.
Things that appeal to people maybe who don't drink and who don't play parlor games.
Excellent.
But,
Agree. What about you guys?
So the two I do is I do a realtor happy hour where I pay for the happy hour. They fill up the room, and it's at a coffee shop. And I usually get out for like $50.
It's coffee.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
Cheaper. And
That's a good idea. I've never heard of that.
I actually used this because he asked me to pay for Zillow, and I wasn't paying for Zillow, so I put my happy hour for him for 6 months, and we'll see who turns the better leads. And he got 2 listings out of our first one.
Awesome.
Nice.
And that's awesome that I talked about that in Theme Days yesterday, how my whale asked me for $4,000 a month in Zillow last week. And I've never paid him anything in 2 years. And I got out for zero again after last week. So, but you have to have, it's not just no, there's more to it. So you have to offer some other value that's going to help their business grow.
Yeah, so my realtor doesn't drink, so what do? I'm like, well, let's do coffee. And so we do it from 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning. He posted all over Facebook. I picked up 3 more realtors from it. Like, friended me on Facebook.
I'm doing that, by the way.
How I'm
Do
doing
you do
it.
like a high-end coffee shop, or do you do just a Starbucks?
I mean, the thing between a high-end coffee shop and a Starbucks, it's all $3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
Starbucks is kind of like, it's tough to get like a nice spot to sit down. It's always so compact.
Yeah, so the people who have coffee shops, usually between like 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock, they're empty. Everyone's at work. So the people they bring in, and they kind of filter in. So I never had more than
Just find one with space.
And the nice thing is you can do those in the morning, so it still
Before the day
leaves your
starts.
night to do something else.
So you have the happy hours for the drinkers that are night owls, and then the coffee. I love that. You hit them all. What about you guys?
Spa
I've done that.
pedicures.
I've done that too.
That's great.
And just to piggyback back that is that I've been doing that the last couple of years. As a matter of fact, with my whale, and we rented out. We actually had to get 2 movie theaters this year, and it's like a Saturday matinee, 12 o'clock. And when you communicate with the theater, we made a video to open up where it's like dun dun dun. It has my logo and his logo roll up on the screen
That's
to
great.
start the movie, and then him and I get up and we're like, hey. Thank you for all that you've done for our businesses, and we just want to give back to the community. Enjoy the family. Happy New Year. Have a good time. So that you can do that with the theater, and they'll hook that up. And we had all of our signage up front when they're coming in, and it's pretty cool. We get a really good response out of that. What about you guys?
I'm gonna steal your Fire Pit Friday. Like I do it with friends right now, and I think getting invited into Todd's home was really generous of him. And
Absolutely.
In coaching, they've been talking about inviting people to your home. I've always been nervous to do it, but just do Fire Pit Friday. And
Absolutely.
Have some fun. Have some. I love wine. I live in Lodi, so
Let me give you guys, and that's awesome. And what I want to say something in regards to what she just said. Guys, put this in your mind right now. If your coach or somebody that is doing it better tells you to do it, and the instant feeling that you get is discomfort, that means you're probably going to make money from that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. It's
So,
got to hurt a little
yeah.
bit, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
What about you guys back there? Center field. Beautiful.
That's great.
Love it. That's a good one.
I want to talk about that a little bit. We talked about bringing agents to your house. If you don't have a fire pit or the means for a fire pit, maybe you live in a condo and you can't pull that off, you can do anything at your house. You could invite a pampered chef person. You can all cook together. You can have your own, you make the appetizers, I'm going to make the entree, you make the dessert. I mean, you can have some serious fun and create some deep relationships.
You guys? Yes,
Sip
those are
and
great.
paint.
I've done that too. Yes. That's fun. I've done that too. That's a good one. Yes, please. Awesome idea as
That's
well.
a great idea too.
I'd have to see if our community has that.
The
Guys?
cool thing about a coffee truck, I just want to add to this. You bring it to your office, and that way you can get these agents in to meet your team and check out your culture, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's actually huge. Having them to your house, meeting in your office. Guys, any good ideas? Many?
In the past, I've done bowling with my more like a client appreciation thing. That's very, very simple. Everybody has a great time.
Awesome. Yes, awesome. Yeah, the bowling is a riot. So guys, I want to tell you this in complete honesty. What actually just got me a little excited is one, again, going back to being vulnerable, is that I really struggle with the greatness tracker. Really, really struggle with it. And so because of that, and knowing that I'm lazy, I'm not that smart, I don't use technology to my advantage, is that I really, really, really have to focus on building deeper relationships. And I just got a big, good feeling, is that literally every single event besides the coffee event I've done. So I really focus on these events to deepen the relationships, because wouldn't a realtor rather go bowling and hang out with you, already hearing that you do a good job servicing the mortgage and the buyer, than having you call them all the time and saying, where's your next lead? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not saying don't do that. We want to pester them, okay? Keep pestering them. But that just, it almost gives you permission to pester them when you're actually doing something on a personal level with them. Another idea that I want to share with you guys that just hit me that we're doing in the summer is that our house backs up to this big park with ball diamonds in the background. It almost looks like the Field of Dreams at night. It's pretty cool with all the lights on. They stay on late. We're doing a kickball party. So I'm going to get a bunch of cheap hamburgers, a couple coolers of beer, and open our gates to the back park. And we already talked with the city, and I'm going to have, and that's, like you said, that's easily co-ed. The women will love it. And the ones that don't feel comfortable, they'll still come and hang out and have a couple drinks and cheer in the dugout. But we're going to have a kickball contest, and we're going to get 2 colored jerseys and have some fun with that. So that's something else that I just thought of that was going to be a good idea. So
something you can do at your office that people are getting really excited about: vision boards. You need to put your goals out there, cut out pictures. You can have a glass of wine. You can have coffee. Bring a couple little snacks in the office. Cool thing about vision boards is you get to find out a lot more about that person in an hour than you would even think to ask them, because you find out that they like to hike, and on their bucket list they want to go to Australia. But you get to find out all this great information, because on your 622 we give gifts, right? And the best way to give a gift is something personal, something that means something to them. You don't have to spend a ton of money. You can find out that they do want to go to Australia, and so you can cut out this great picture, put it in a frame from the dollar store, because budget, and you can give them something they put on their desk that they love because it's on their bucket list, and they're never going to forget you because you're now sitting on their desk. So little things that you can learn about them from events that you have that just take it even deeper.
All right, write this down. My email address, Linus T, Linust, at goldenmc.com. Linus T at goldenmc.com. And then under that, homework, email Linus what my next event is.
I love it.
Got to have accountability. One last thing in regards to that, another homework assignment that I want you to confirm in that email is that you have ordered or already reread the book Mr. Schmooze. That's like when I read that, I'm like, that's me. I want to be that guy, because that's what I have most fun doing. That's what I'm most effective at. Those are my strengths. I'm diligently working on making sure that we average 5 out of 5, not 4.9 out of 5 on my survey. So I have a really good team taking really good care of clients, and I want to be Mr. Schmooze. Who has read Mr. Schmooze already? Oh, all right, cool. Handful. I mean, can you tell like what I'm talking about over the last 20 minutes mirrors that book? Mr. Schmooze, just to premise it, is just a guy that nobody really knows what he does. He just schmoozes people all day to a very high level, and then is able to get business from them. So before we jump to, I think, videos we want to do real quick.
Videos, I want to touch bases on calls because we kind of jumped over that, and that is a big section on the Greatness Tracker.
I'm going to take some notes.
I have overthought the calls like you can't even believe it. I'm like, I can't make all my calls. I don't have a list. Who am I going to call? They're not in my phone burner. I finally got phone burner. I don't know how it works. I can come up with every excuse in the world why I didn't make those phone calls. So just get over yourself. Pick up the phone and make the calls. Shut the door. Don't do anything else. Give yourself that power hour and start calling. You have a list of deals that you've closed over the last month, over the last year. You've got people in your phone. Does anybody know a phone number anymore? It's all programmed in your phone. You just say, Siri, call Kathy Courtney, and she does it. So you can just sit there and rock right through calls. So don't get hung up on the phone calls. Call and talk to them about anything. You can talk to them about the weather. Hey, the great thing about Monday, you can call and ask what they did on the weekend. You can sit there right on the phone when you're getting ready to call, and you can pull up Facebook. And most everybody's got a Facebook. And you can look and see exactly what they did last weekend. And then you can say, hey, I saw that your kid won the soccer game. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. So you can have a conversation about something that's not even about work. Because if you're just doing that cold call and you're the lender, guess what you're going to get? Oh, okay. Well, I'll think about it. Thanks, bye.
Well, they won't even pick up.
Yes, exactly. So you need to get personal, have that conversation, not about what we do, because like Linus said, everybody says, I close on time and it's smooth. So you need to be different. Don't talk about the loans. Get them to know you.
Do you start with the people that you like first, or do you do the hard calls first? Because sometimes I will start with people I like, but then I'm an hour and a half into like, oh, I'm chatting that. That's awesome. I did 13 calls. I never make 40 calls. It never happens ever. 22 is the most I've ever made, so I fail miserably at that.
People you like, I think it is different for each of you.
I mean, yeah, for me, it's just the ones I like first, yeah.
I start that with
then
them
I find
later.
excuses not to call the rest, yes.
I was like, do you do it backwards? Do you start the
I try to do it different.
So the topic of this class was, how to fill up your greatness tracker in 40 hours. That's really, that's a time management class, right? So just a couple of tactics on that is, and she already mentioned it, is the power hour and theme days. So if you want to learn how to fill up the call section in 40 hours, then write that down. Schedule power hour and follow the theme days. And then also she touched on it too with the post-closing calls. Does everybody know what that is? That's call all of your clients that close. So mine is my LP1 prints out the buyer's agent, listing agent's name and number, buyer's name, address, when it closed. And then the first Tuesday of every single month, I call all of my previous month's closings and call on them. And my ultimate goal of that is, one, to show gratitude to the client. And why is it so important to make it after they close that call? You've already cashed your check. It's funny too, because I have a phenomenal team. I don't talk to the client once during the process. So I call and they go, hello? Like, are we about to get kicked out of our house? Do I need to submit more blood samples? Like, what's going on? Why are you calling me? And I say, I'm just calling to thank you. And they're like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. And then the listing agent call is to set an appointment to work that listing agent. So that'll help with your phone calls. But again, you're just going to have to figure out a way to get it done in your power hour, and following the theme days will help.
I'm going to back up on what Mary had asked. So who do you call first? So I think it's super important that you start at 8 o'clock in the morning, not before 8, because it's rude to call anybody before 8. How many real estate agents are working at 8 o'clock in the morning, guys? Right. So call the ones that you're like, you want to leave a message. You know you're going to leave a message. Between 8 and 9, you're leaving a message. But they're going to hear your voice every Monday morning at 8 o'clock regularly. So that way, when they have that deal that goes south or whatever, or you haven't gotten in front of them yet, like, you know what? Mary calls me every Monday. And this other lender just bit the dust on this deal. So I'm calling Mary. I'm going to see, can she pull this out? Because Mary always calls me. So they think of that person first. So 8 o'clock in the morning, call the hard ones first. You're going to get their voicemail. Get it out of the way. The easy ones keep me on the phone forever. They're my buddies. So when I call them, my power hour just turned into 2 people. I had a great conversation.
That's a good point.
So use that hour and just rock them out. And really, guys, you can't think 40. You can't think 40. If you want to blow up your pay log, I mean, go deep. Go 60, go 80. Go deep. 2 names to a box on the greatness tracker. Just blow it up. Be intentional. It's really tough to be intentional. Call those names that you're like, something else that I do with the 622. So any listing agent goes on my 622.
Awesome.
My team automatically puts everybody in Outlook in the contacts, which ties to my phone. I've got every buyer, every listing agent, every selling agent automatically in my phone when the deal happens. So anywhere I'm going, if I'm on my way to my muffin run, I know what's closing. We all know what's closing right now, right? We have an idea. We meet with our team at least once a week and go over what's closing, so you know what's going on. You look at your pay log. You know what's closing. In your car, on your drive, you can nail out 5 phone calls by just asking Siri to call. Leave a message, talk to them on the way. No big deal. That way, your travel time. In Sparks, it doesn't take that long to get from one side of town to the other, but I know in California, some of these drives are pretty gnarly. You could be stuck in traffic. How about there's a wreck and you're stuck in traffic and you're just sitting there. What am I going to do now? I got Siri right there. I'm going to rock out some calls. And then when you get back to the office, you just go back to your phone and you're like, okay. And you write down the names of the people you talk to. And you know you talked to them because the conversation went on for 2 minutes. So that's how you blow up that call.
Any questions on the calls
section
before we move to the last? We got about 5 minutes left. The 622 form is one of the prospecting forms through the coaching, and it's 6 new realtors that you've reached out to, talked to, set an appointment with, met, 2 new office managers. I spoke about that at the beginning of the class. 2 new builders, and then there's a gifting section below, which is extremely important. For those of you that were at my theme day yesterday, I have a McDonald's system on gifting for every client, but then you want to give personal gifts out to referral sources, which has gone a long ways with whales. Like before I started a title company that I own now, everybody asked me, wow, you're like, this title company is one of their biggest clients. How did they get you? Like, did they wow you? Did they pay you or whatever? I said, no, the title rep came and was like, I heard you're a big Michigan State basketball fan. I said, yes. He's like, I got second row for Indiana, 1 versus 2 in the country. I said, here's 17 title orders. I'm in. And that was it. And then it was a relationship from there. And we worked together for a long time. As a matter of fact, now we're in negotiations to buying out their company, and they're going to come join us. And it all started with him knowing that I was a huge Michigan State basketball fan and took me to a big-time basketball game at my favorite place to watch a sporting event. That's it.
Just real quick, so kind of on the 622 and talking more about duplication on these forms. So if you are putting someone in the 6, are you then also putting them on the greatness tracker?
Oh, yeah.
So there is a duplication there.
Oh, yeah.
The other question I have is, if you meet with somebody, like I met with somebody Monday, right? I have a follow-up meeting with them on Friday. Am I putting them twice on the greatness tracker? Am I really just cheating myself by doing that?
The new Rick Ruby rules are no applicants on your face-to-face, only realtors and referral sources, business partners, and now we can't even put applicants. I mean, most of us in here, are only seeing, under 5 applicants a week anyway. So all it is just to push us to get more face-to-faces with referral sources.
What's a realtor?
If
Let's say you met with them Monday and then you met with them on Friday.
it's a
Let's go with
different-
no.
Okay.
You know what? I would.
Yeah.
If it's a different day, if you went and saw them and made that lunch appointment for Friday, if it's a different day, I want to, you know what? You need to blow up your greatness tracker. If you don't do it where you're making money, you're cheating yourself. Does that make sense? If you're putting something on there 3 times just so you can fill every box, did it make you more money? If it didn't make you more money, you just cheated yourself. You made your coach happy because every box is full. But did it do you any good?
Well, and that's
Yeah.
why I asked about the 622. It seems like the same idea.
Everything has to be in your mind. Is this going to create more opportunity to close more transactions and help more families? So going off of what she just said, 100% she's right. Whatever makes you more money, blow up your greatness tracker. But in regards to that, don't blow off that appointment and put it till next week when it's an opportunity, because you want to take time putting a new name in there.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely. Be
so I
smart.
see my whale team literally 4 days a week because they're going to get me over 100 transactions this year. So I spend a ton of time. I mean, they're brothers and sisters of mine, literally. I take better care of them than my own brother, to be honest with you. But all right.
That's
so,
why you put your brother on the VIP list, so you can make
yes,
sure
he
to
is on
remember.
my VIP list. So last, we got about 5 minutes, so we're only
Okay.
going to spend 2 minutes, a couple minutes on this. But videos is last. Who loves doing videos? Who does videos? You love doing videos? Wow, I hate videos.
I have to
Gosh,
love
I have this
it.
picture
I
of
have
this
to
like
love it.
very handsome man in my mind, and then I watch a video. I'm like, oh my god!
It's tough.
Don't watch your videos.
No.
So videos, some ideas for videos. For me, my favorite video is the VIP video, and all it is what's up, guys? It's me. Hey, next event, we're gonna hit the golf range, and I'm gonna bring a keg of beer, and we'll make a fool of ourselves. It's Thursday at 4:00. Let me know RSVP so I can get a proper head count. Other than that, I hope all your guys' families are doing well. Linus is crushing it at soccer. Gia's 5. She's going to be a movie star or a heroin addict, hopefully a movie star. And I have some fun with the video, right? And then I say, you know what? Again, as I always tell you guys, I appreciate you. I love you. I miss you. I know that we got busy with life, with careers and everything, and I get to keep up with you a little bit on social media. And going back to the original video is saying that I really wanted to stay in closer touch with you because you guys are all a big part of my life. So I hope to see you at the next event, and God bless you. So I get a little mushy at the end there after having some fun. And again, that's to let them know I care. Guys, I can't tell you how important that piece is for my personal business. I mean, again, you'll be shocked if you saw how many realtors I have as far as how much business I do. I don't have a ton. I have a monster. I had just got that in-house relationship. I've got a couple big teams, and I've got my sphere of influence. But because I go deeper in relationships is why I'm able to put some numbers up. That's why, not because of the amount of realtors. I've tried that before, and it did work. This one just is more effective as far as time, because I had to figure out how to spend more time with my family, but also wanted to continue my income growth as well. Other videos is I do whenever there's an opportunity. Like, for example, all of a sudden 1 month I had like 4 leads come in of past clients that wanted to pull cash out of their primary to put down payment on a second home, vacation home. So I did a cool little video, and it started off with like a vacation home on a lake and cruising around on jet skis and boats and stuff. And I said, let's pull some cash out and live the American dream. Let's get a second home and buy a lake house and get some jet skis and boats.
Hey,
So-
I think, has everybody here heard of Letter from the Heart? Doing a Letter from the Heart? He just did it on his video. Amazing. Touches way more people, inexpensive, emotional. The other thing is, he says he doesn't meet with his clients. He just met with his clients that way. They got to know him. And that way, when he calls them on the phone, they're like, oh, Linus just called me. I just saw his video. He's so cool. And he just called me personally. So you need to remember, we're in a position where you're handling the money. You're handling the biggest purchase of their life, and they look up to you. So hearing from you is like a big deal. I want to talk about some quick videos. So your video, awesome. I do 2 to 3 videos a week, and they are fast. They're 10 seconds or less. They're easy. And the first time I did a video, I think I had to do 30 takes. It was horrible. But you know what I figured out? Because I kept looking, I'm like, oh, I got to fix my hair. I need more makeup. I need lipstick. This color is not good on me. I'll have to do it tomorrow. Every excuse in the world. But whatever I'm looking at is what all you guys see right now. So I can pick it apart to death because I don't like it, because I don't sit there and work looking in the mirror every day. But I'm looking at you guys right now. And so if I did a video right now, that's what you see. So why would I change it? So put your message out there and send it. Don't look, just send it.
Yeah.
As crazy as it may be. I do a quote of the week. Quote of the week. Anybody watch Big Brother? The show where people lived in the house? Anyone? Okay, so there was a rodeo clown the last season. and he does a quote of the week. He was actually asked to be on the show because of his quote. Actually, he did a quote of the day. That's just too much for me. But a quote of the day. But he was so vibrant in his little videos. I'm like, I can do that. So I do a quote of the week. And I make sure my assistant gets it, and she puts it out there. She puts it out on Facebook for me. We can get it out there through Unify to all my database, but I get the quote of the week done. It's easy breezy. You just pull up. You can, it could be Twinkie Day around the world. Whatever's going on, make a little comment about it. Doesn't have to be huge. Just get your face out there. What do we say about be seen? So on Facebook or social media, get it out there. The other thing that I do is I send you have to go through marketing. Be very careful. You know that we have to be very careful about what we market, what we say we can do, and our interest rates and programs. You can put out. I send an email to my A agents with a rate sheet attached. But I send a video saying, hey, I'm working this weekend. Give me a call. It's going to be cold outside. It's snowing. Wear your coat. I mean, make it brief, but they get to see your face. And that way, when you call them on Monday and say, hey, did you sell any houses? What can I help you with? But they need to know rates so they can put the rate on their contract. So,
hey, guys, go to the surveys when you have a chance.
5,
Hopefully you got
please.
some value out of this.
5.
Don't forget your homework. I will tell you, I'll close with this. I've seen every single level of income there is possible in the mortgage industry, being from when I started and then going to these core events. And it is completely lateral with as far as implementations. The biggest of the baddest and best, they all implement very, very fast, and they will blow up and use all of these things, all of these ideas to their benefit. So go be a doer. Thanks.
All right.